Oh, let's journey back to 2015, San Diego Comic-Con. That's when we got our first look at the hover converted DeLorean. Oh, my eyes. They were so huge. I was blown away by this thing. This is such a masterpiece. The achievements that Hot Toys could do in such a prototype. Mr. Fusion, the tires, the hover converter. It was a glorious prototype. And I waited. I really thought they were gonna make it. Yeah, they released a few 1/6 scale figures. They gave us Doc Brown from the future. They even gave us Marty with the hoverboard. But the one thing that I really wanted was the hover converted DeLorean. I just don't get it. Don't they understand that if they make it, they build it, the customers will come? Now there are a few companies out there that did make their own hover converted model toy DeLorean, but it's hard for us Back to the Future fans to find merchandise that still captures the love and excitement of Back to the Future, the DeLorean traveling back through time, the merch. Give us the merch, give us the toys, give us the figures. Yes, I get it. We are going through an age of superheroes, but if you make the stuff with passion and heart, we will buy it. We will 100% buy it. So, in the meantime, we gravitate to the few companies that still are devoted to the love and excitement of Back to the Future, especially the DeLorean. This is me. This is my hover converted Hot Toys DeLorean. I 3D printed some struts and added some lights. Even 3D printed a Mr. Fusion. This was always a temporary project. I always assumed that Hot Toys would make their hover converted DeLorean, and I could then return this one back to its Mark I, to its original form. I can't wait any longer for Hot Toys, and I really do miss the Mark I vision. So in this video, we are going to be reverse engineering or deconstructing the hover converted DeLorean that I did a few years back, and I'm going to bring it back to its Mark I. I wanted to make a video about this because throughout the years I received a lot of personal messages. A lot of folks, viewers, thought that I had destroyed the DeLorean. They assumed that I had damaged the wheels and so forth. But going into this project, it was always my intention to hover convert it in a sense and in a way that I could, a few years down the road, I could return it back to its Mark I, because I just assumed that Hot Toys by now, 4 years later, we would have gotten a hover converted DeLorean. Hell, I was even wishing for the Mark III version with the railroad tracks. I would have loved to have seen or owned a Hot Toys DeLorean Mark III with the actual railroad. It would have been awesome. But I can't wait anymore, and I'm in the process of changing my room here in the studio and so forth, and my display, and I want to bring this back. I want to display this in its Mark I form, and I can't wait anymore. And like most fans, I completely understand if you can't wait. Hot Toys, I guess, feels that there is no love, there is no passion for a hover converted DeLorean. There really is. You can see here, I was a little bit worried because I had been conditioned to think that I had destroyed my DeLorean, but I really didn't. At the time, I knew what I was doing. I used hot glue. I didn't use any type of permanent glue. One great thing with hot glue is that as it ages, it dries out and it doesn't leave a lot of residue. It doesn't do a lot of damage, and you can kind of see on the hubcap there that the hot glue really didn't do a lot of. If anything, it peeled away. And yes, I'll confess, I was a little bit worried that it would have stripped off the paint, but it didn't. It really didn't. It was a easy hover conversion. And making this video, I discovered it was just as easy as bringing it back to its Mark I glory. I want to display it with its wheels now. One nice thing is that these IKEA lights, I can then reuse them for something else. I can reuse them in a DTOF or a display or just another project. I had forgotten that I had used coaxial cables for its main support. Main reason for that is that it's strong and it's sturdy and it's very flexible, and the hot glue that's used to stick onto it, it's really easy. I mean, a little bit of force and it pops right out. This back wheel here was probably my biggest fear, as I really thought the hot glue had gotten into it and kind of stripped it away. But just using my fingernails, not using any sharp tools, a little bit of elbow grease, and the hot glue residual does peel right off. I don't know. I don't know if Hot Toys will ever revisit this particular IP. I don't know. I really wish they would. I being a Hot Toys collector for so many years, I've just come to assume that if it's not in a pre-order status, it's never going to get made. Hot Toys is a very good company. When they put their minds to something, they do a phenomenal job. They do love to tease the audience. They love showing off their ingenuity at conventions. They blow it away with prototypes, and I totally get it. It's a business. They may feel that there isn't a lot of collectors out there who are still willing to support the Back to the Future IP. I beg to differ. I really, really do. I've always been a big fan of large dioramas, vehicles, especially vehicles. If any of you have watched my channel, I love vehicles. If they make the vehicles that resonate with an emotional impact, Jabba's sail barge, the DeLorean, the Batmobile, the fans will come out. The fans will absolutely come out. They absolutely would. Oh, gotta be careful here. I used hot glue, the cables on there. I used a little bit of it to kind of, and it just pops right off. And again, I'm not showing it in the video, but the hot glue did not damage anything from the underside, from the undercarriage on there. I'm really surprised. I think it took 2 hours to hover convert it, versus on this video it really didn't take more than 20 minutes to bring it back to its full glory. I'm gonna miss this look. I really, really am. But I'm a little bit bored of it. I really, really did think Hot Toys would have made a hover conversion just so that I could have a Mark I and a hover converted, side by side. But I'll be happy for now. At least I know a few years down the road that if I ever get bored with this look of the DeLorean of the Mark I could always hover convert it again. The 3D parts, I went through, I believe I went through Fiverr.com. I had some guy print them out for me. It wasn't really that expensive. I'm gonna save the coaxial joints on there. The IKEA lights can be reused again. It's all hot glue gun. I'm hoping that in 2 to 3 years I don't have to hover convert this version, and by then maybe, hopefully, we'll get that version out. Who knows? Who really does know? But seeing this go back to its original form, it's makes me feel like I'm getting a new toy. Now this part here, you can kind of see I'm kind of jimmy rigging the cable there, and pops right out, and there it is. I mean, it's honestly, I really felt it was longer to it was a lot longer to hover convert this, and you can see a little bit of the residual of the hot glue on the wheel there. I'm not going to use any type of Windex or any type of cleaner on it. I'm just going to leave it as is. I don't know how sensitive that rubber is on that wheel, so I don't want to jeopardize it. I don't want to do anything weird to it. Wheels do spin. Like I said, it was just a bolt. Hubcap pops in. That was I think my first challenge was, how do I get the wheels off? I remember that, and it was really simple. Pop the hubcap off. It's kept on with a bolt. It was very easy, and here it is. My Mark 1 returns back to me. It was a fun few years in its display mode, but this is going to be its permanent mode for now on. Yeah. Well, thanks, folks, for joining me on this reverse engineering of my Mark 1 DeLorean. It's going to stay like this for quite a bit. And if you guys were curious about the book with the Wind-Up DeLorean, it's a fun book. I read it with the kids. It's a fun interactive book. A link is in the description. I've had it now for a couple days. It's a nice little wonderful book. Get your copy. It comes out on May 7th. Help support the channel by clicking the link below. And as always, like, subscribe, leave your comments below. And my Mark 1 has come home.